Today, we gather on the 30th Sunday after Pentecost, a Sunday following Labor Day, and the first Sunday of September. In my homeland, you would already hear Christmas carols being sung as we Filipinos celebrate the longest Christmas in the entire planet. Because September 1 is the beginning of celebration for Christmas. We play Christmas carol until after December or January. That's how we love Christmas celebration in the Philippines. So last week, we reflected on humility. And today, we delve into the theme of following Jesus or discipleship. The call to truly follow Christ. Throughout his ministry, Jesus often challenged those who followed him, declaring that to be his disciple, one must fully commit. Here in our passage, while he is traveling toward Jerusalem, crowds were traveling with him. So there are three things I want to share with you this morning. Firstly, a follower must put Christ before family and self. In Luke chapter 14, verse 26, Jesus presents a daunting challenge. Whoever comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brother and sisters, yes, and even life itself, cannot be my disciple. I think that's very hard teaching. This means that when we come to Jesus, we need to hate our father, our mother. If you are married, your wife or your husband, your kids, your children, your siblings, your brothers and sisters, and even yourself. That's terrible. I think becoming a disciple or follower of Christ is one of the most boring thing in the world, if this is the case. This is a tough saying. Does it truly mean that following Christ requires us to hate our family and ourselves? To understand this, we must consider two crucial factors. First, the term hate does not imply anger or hostility. Instead, it suggests that if a conflict arises, our commitment to Christ must take precedence over even our closest relationship. It doesn't mean that, I need to be angry or hostile with my parents or other family members. But if there is a situation wherein there is a conflict between our relationship and our being a disciple of Christ, our commitment to Christ must be the priority or above. Our devotion to Jesus must be paramount. Second, this message resonated with the early Christians who often faced the choice of leaving their homes and families to spread the gospel, reflecting the sacrifice of inherent in true discipleship. Because during those times, in the early century, in the early years of the Christian movement, apostles are going place to place. They are itinerant preachers or apostles, and they need to leave their family, just like Peter. They left everything, their boat, their friends, and they went to far places in Rome, in India, just to preach the gospel. Secondly, a follower must carry the cross. Another critical aspect of discipleship is found in verse 27. Whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. In this passage, there are so many times Jesus said, whoever does not carry the cross cannot be my disciple. I think it's 3 times. He repeated the phrase, cannot be my disciples. And here on the second statement, he said, whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. This command is even more challenging. While hating may seem easier, carrying the cross symbolizes enduring hardship. Because hating is just hate somebody and it's finished. But carrying the cross, I think it's more difficult. In the Roman Empire, a cross represented a death sentence. This call to carry the cross evokes rejection and suffering that Jesus would face in Jerusalem. Jesus warns us that following him requires readiness to endure similar trials. Unlike in Luke chapter 9, verse 23, where he speaks of taking up one's cross, here he emphasizes the necessity of carrying or bearing the cross. One commentary points out that the concept of cross-bearing has often been overused or misinterpreted. It is not about enduring chronic illness or difficult family dynamics. Because sometimes when we had suffering like illness, oh, this is my cross. But that's not the real meaning of carrying your cross. Because you are suffering sometimes because you don't have discipline in yourself. You eat too much sugar. That's why you suffer from diabetes. Rather, it represents the voluntary sacrifices we make for our commitment to Christ. Carrying the cross involves deliberate acts of sacrifice, facing risk and ridicule for the sake of following Christ. Thirdly, a follower must count the cost and consequences. Beginning in verse 28, Jesus presents 2 parables about the seriousness of following him. You need to look, these parables illustrate the importance of counting the cost of following Christ. Building the tower, before building the tower, you need to think many times if you can finish it. Because when you cannot sustain until the end, or maybe someone will laugh at you. And the other one is going to war. if you have only 10,000 men and your enemy has 20,000 soldiers, I think you need to make a strategy to be reconciled with him. So the first parable highlights the embarrassment of failing a complete project, while the second one warns of potential defeat against an enemy. Both emphasize the folly of pursuing a venture without ensuring we can see it through. Thus, no one should claim to be a disciple without being prepared to forsake everything for Christ. So, discipleship or following Christ is a very hard to do because we need to put Christ above all else, even our family or ourselves. Just like a soldier or a policeman who is serving the government, you need to sacrifice yourself, even your family. You have a duty to obey the law or the order. And also you need to carry the cross, the hardship, or you need to sacrifice. And you need to plan before you started to follow Jesus. Because Jesus himself is going to Jerusalem, wherein he will be crucified. So, for me, my experience in following Christ, before I used to live in a street, and you know, when it comes in the street, you have encountered a lot of people. Sometimes street fight as a child, but as a teenager, I began to know Christ and started following him. I didn't know that that's enough. I thought that following him is already finished. I did not realize that later on, when I started studying in college and getting engineering degree, I felt I was called to the ministry. Oh, I already started this course and I want to become an engineer or not a contractor. But there's a calling to share the gospel, to become a pastor, to lead the church. And then I forgot to get married. I get married, I think I'm already 35 years old. But I think I need to follow God. Whatever His will, whatever is He wanted me to do, I'm a follower of Christ. And lately, there's an open door here in the U.S. At first, I am hesitant. I think twice. Do I go to the U.S. and leave my relatives and my families here in the Philippines and started a new ministry? So I need to pray and discern, because I promise that I will follow him. So I started to pack up. Just like Abraham, when God said to Abraham, leave your family, leave your country, everything, and go to the country, to the nations that I will show you. He did not give the details, but because by faith, He knows, he know that God know him very well, even his thoughts and everything in his life, so he trusted God. Following Christ is undeniably challenging. One preacher aptly stated that while the call to follow him is free, the cost is high, paid in various currencies. For some, it may involve a shift in time and energy. For others, a transformation in relationships, career paths, or financial commitments. Ultimately, the call to following Christ demands a complete reordering of priorities. We cannot be a part-time follower. Half-hearted commitments do not suffice. Let us confront this challenging teaching honestly and strive to become more faithful disciples of Jesus Christ. Amen.